All right. So first off, as always, I want to thank everybody for joining me for this week's 10-minute marketing tip. So the thing that I want to focus on today is how to get more sales and not just leads. One of the things that we've got to be aware of as agents, advisors, producers is that there are certain things out there called vanity metrics. Now, vanity metrics refer to different metrics that you can track that feel good. They look good. They get those endorphins, the dopamine flowing in our bodies, but they don't really mean a whole lot. Now, with that thought in mind, one of the things that we have to focus on is making sure that we're not just getting caught up in getting leads, but actually getting to sales and actually driving revenue, moving that cash needle in our business. Now, there's a sales statistic out there that it takes at least 8 touch points before somebody's willing to pull the trigger on a product, a service, a solution. I would argue that in the life insurance and the financial world, it's going to take a lot more than 8 touch points before somebody understands the power of life insurance, the power of an annuity, or the power of the investment strategies that you offer. Now, with a lot of the marketing strategies that are out there, it's the equivalent to walking up to somebody at Starbucks and just saying, hey, I see that you've got a fancy computer. I see that you look like you know what you're doing. You look like a great prospect. Do you want to take advantage of my insurance and financial solutions? Now, if somebody has a lot of money, they're making a lot of money, chances are it's going to take more than just one single conversation before they're ready to move forward. Now, this is a visual that I've shared a couple of different times, but this outlines the mental journey that every single one of your prospects has to go down before they're willing to pull the trigger, before they're able to pull the trigger with your services and with your products. Now, you start with unaware, you go to problem aware, solution aware, product aware, most aware, and it's in that most aware stage that somebody's able to say, okay, now I know exactly what I'm going to be purchasing, why I'm going to be purchasing it, and why I need to go with this specific financial or life insurance advisor. Now, let me give you a quick example. Let's say you've got a married father of 4 kids who is going about his daily life. Things are going well. He's climbing the corporate ladder. Well, one day he wakes up and he sees on Facebook that his brother-in-law is in the ICU, had a heart attack, and all of a sudden he becomes problem aware and understanding that, oh man, if something were to happen to me, how is my family going to provide for themselves? How are they going to pay the mortgage? How are my kids going to, eat or go to college or whatever it might be? And so he starts exploring and he sees that there's this thing called life insurance that can take care of his family if something were to happen to him. So he starts doing a little bit more research and all of a sudden he becomes product aware. He finds out that there's term insurance and there's index universal life insurance and there's whole life insurance and universal life insurance and variable universal life insurance. And so he has to keep going down that discovery phase before he becomes most aware, where he understands who to go to as that authority figure, as that subject matter expert who can get him the right product that solves the solution to the problem that he has in his life. Now, this corresponds directly with cold, warm, and hot traffic. Now, with a lot of the different marketing strategies that are out there, you're going to come across a lot of cold traffic, people that are either unaware or they might be problem aware, but they're just in that phase of solution aware and product aware, to where they may understand that there's a financial pain point in their life, but they're not exactly sure why they should fix it or how they should fix it or the importance of the urgency of fixing it. Now, in today's world, one of the first pain points that I like to target is the tax pain point. And the reason for that is if somebody has a lot of money or they're making a lot of money, chances are they understand how much or how painful it is to pay Uncle Sam or overpay Uncle Sam each and every year. And so if you can dial in on that specific pain point, they're going to give you the time of the day. They're going to keep going down that discovery phase with you. Now, if we're lucky enough, we can get into that warm and that hot traffic. And that's where you start getting into that conversation of low-hanging fruit, to where somebody's like, okay, I understand that there's a problem. I understand that there's solutions out there, and they're gonna move forward faster. But inside of our marketing strategies, inside of our marketing systems, we cannot rely solely on that hot traffic. And that's where you come across a lot of ups and downs in that sales in your pipeline, where you get like a good burst of leads coming in and they convert, but then all of a sudden it dries up because your marketing is not addressing that cold or that warm prospect. You're not addressing their specific pain points. Now, when it comes to marketing, it doesn't matter what platform you're using, doesn't matter what social media you like to use or anything in between. There are 3 steps to any successful marketing campaign. You need to attract qualified prospects. You need to nurture those qualified prospects consistently. And then you've got to be able to convert them and push them across the finish line. Now, if somebody does not convert, if you're attracting people into your system and they're not converting, The reason most likely is because that nurturing phase is lacking to some degree, either on the follow-up process or just staying in touch with that person. Remember, a minimum of 8 touch points before somebody's going to be ready to pull the trigger. So what we need to start thinking about is, how can we effectively market to those people? How can we effectively nurture those people so we continue to move them down this specific process right here, this specific journey that everybody has to go down? So what I would say, the number one thing that you can focus on is provide value. Now, this might seem a little bit backwards in your mind when you think about this, because you're like, okay, what if I give away too much? What if I give them the secret sauce? They're just going to go back and run to their existing advisor because they've already been working with them. They have a relationship. But I would argue that by providing that value, that is what sets you up as that subject matter expert. That is what's going to set you apart from anybody that they worked with in the past, where they're like, man, why did my financial guy and my financial girl, why did they not mention this before? That is how you build that relationship with them strategically, so that you can position yourself as that subject matter expert who has the ability to alleviate those financial pain points in their life. Now, there are a number of ways that you can go about attracting people, nurturing people, and converting people. But one of the things that I would focus on is picking out one specific action item that you can focus on. So my challenge to you is, number one, send one value email per week to your list of prospects. If you don't have a list of prospects, if you're not building an email list, definitely start building an email list. It's one of the most powerful and one of the most monetarily beneficial assets that you can be building up on a daily basis. So send out one value email per week. And I'm not talking about putting it in some sort of automated sequence. I'm not talking about getting fancy. Just send out one value email to your prospect list per week. Now, the second thing that I want you to do is focus on hosting one live webinar within the next 45 days. I had a great conversation with an advisor yesterday, and he was like, man, do I do a video sales letter? Do I do an automated webinar? Do I have an evergreen video out there that people can, go to, whether it's 10 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night? Or do I focus on just doing live webinars? Now, my suggestion, my recommendation would be do both, because you want to make sure that you have the ability out there that if somebody's ready to take action, they don't have to wait, right? They can go through, they can get value from your evergreen videos or your landing pages, whatever you have set up, whenever they're ready. But at the same time, being able to host live events like webinars is extremely beneficial, because number one, it creates a sense of urgency to where there is a deadline that they have to be with you at a certain time. And it creates that urgency for them where they're like, okay, I have to be in front of my computer at this time on this date. And in the process, they're going to be spending valuable time with you. There are 2 ways to convert somebody into a more qualified lead, or to get them to close to that conversion point. It's either to get them to spend money with you or get them to spend time with you. That time is, you heard the cliche, time is money, right? If people are spending time with you, that is a great way to be able to break down those barriers and get them to build that relationship with you, and allows you to showcase your subject matter expertise, to where even if this person doesn't understand exactly what life insurance or annuities or long-term care or, your investment strategies are going to do for them, they're going to start to trust you as that expert who can do the right things that are going to benefit them for the rest of their life, if not for generations to come. So make sure to go out there. That's my recommendation. One value email per week, and host a live webinar in the next 45 days. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Go to getlifeinsuranceclients.com or visit our website, trainadvisor.com, and I will see you guys soon.